Hi! When did you get in?
Come in.
Right.
Close the door.
Sure.
I play Barry Lapidus. Lapidus is kind of the bad guy.
He's an antagonist for a lot of the series.
He is basically a composite of every single person that did not want to make The Godfather. No. I'm not greenlighting anything I don't understand. All right, we're gonna stop developing these rarefied flights of fancy and start applying some good business sense to what we do here. Normally, when you have those kinds of roles, they can kind of be one-dimensional. But every reason that Lapidus has as to why this is a bad idea, from his perspective, makes perfect sense.
And money, gentlemen, whether you care to admit it or not, it's important. Because otherwise, movies don't get made.
If there weren't for the business side of people who did fight for the creatives, then it would just be the business side, and who knows what we may have lost or what we may have never seen. If you're stepping into Evan's shoes, you need to understand what he actually does.
Lapidus was the last character I thought I was going to have empathy for, but there's a scene in 9 that Colin does beautifully where he's trying to kind of take over and fill Evan's shoes. And there's a moment where he's sitting behind Evan's desk, and you're enough in his head at that point that you realize he's grappling with the thought that he does not have what it takes to be what Bob Evans was.
He realizes that he doesn't necessarily have the skill set for that.
And to his credit, he was smart enough to recognize that and ends up being a champion of Evans in the end.
We agree on nothing, and if it were up to me, I would have been the first one to get him a one-way ticket to anywhere but here. And I would have been wrong.
I love that when characters that you have pegged as being one thing suddenly end up having to play a different and vital role.
I thought it was a nice touch, and it was a nice way to sort of bring him into the fold as sort of, one of the quote-unquote good guys.
You surprised me, Barry.
There's a lot of things in the original Godfather that they've become iconic lines.
Yeah, well, never hate your enemies. It's not personal. It's just business.
We are able to slip those things in, and hopefully it's something that, fans of the film will sort of get the reference.
Making a reference to The Godfather, I feel like I've been doing that my entire career. There were, sort of winks and nods and Easter eggs.
The intention of the Easter eggs in the offer was meant to draw a parallel between the story in the film and the story of the film.
It's the final scene of episode 9. Colombo is unconscious, still sedated. The final moment of the scene is Al kissing the hand of Colombo. I wanted to compose a shot that echoed the final shot in the film of The Godfather, where Kay is in the foreground, out of focus, and you see back into the room, and before the door closes, you see Clemenza kiss his hand.
Colombo is a real friendship for him.
I developed a great relationship with this man.
And without Colombo's help, he never could have got this movie made.
I genuinely respected him. We became lasting friends for a long time.
He pays homage. This really is one of his godfathers, and maybe the biggest one.